I don't enjoy shopping. There are exceptions. Give me a bookstore or a nursery and I'm happy for hours. Give me a mall and I'm looking for the nearest exit. Which is why it's funny to me that I discovered my favorite clothing store while I was buying plants. A couple of years ago, I was wandering through Bulow's nursery, looking for plants for my garden, when I noticed a small clothing pop-up tucked among the greenery. The shop was Logan and Finley, a beautifully curated Toronto boutique that had come for the day. I wandered over just to look and bought a travel wardrobe for my trip to Georgia. I've been a customer ever since. That one afternoon changed my shopping habits. These days, when I need clothes, Logan and Finley is one of the very few places I genuinely enjoy visiting. Only later did I learn the story behind those pop-ups. During the pandemic, when many small businesses were forced to close, Bulow's owner Hannah invited friends whose businesses had been shut down to set up in the nursery whenever her outdoor business was able to open. The tradition continued long after the restrictions ended. The more I thought about it, the more I realized something. Bulow's wasn't simply inviting other businesses onto the property. Hannah was introducing her customers to people she believed they would love. She wasn't recommending a product category, she was recommending a person. There's a difference. I've noticed this pattern repeatedly in my work with business owners. The clearest businesses don't begin with what they sell. They begin with the people they serve. What makes the story even more interesting is that Bulow's already sells clothing. Every winter, I admire the beautiful Aran sweaters Hannah stocks, timeless wool sweaters made by an Irish cooperative, beautifully crafted and made to last. I own 4 of them now. So Logan and Finley wasn't filling a gap in the nursery's inventory. It offered something different, garden visiting clothes. The clothes you wear when friends come over to admire the peonies you waited years to establish. Casual enough to feel comfortable, beautiful enough to reflect the life you've created. All ethical and ecologically sustainable, and many of them made in Canada. Hannah wears clothes that Julie curates, so her recommendation wasn't transactional, it was personal. She understood exactly who Julie's customers were because she was one of them herself. I think that's the business lesson. Most businesses start with their products, plants, clothes, books, furniture, but the best businesses start with their customers. I think Bulow's is the best nursery in the GTA, but it isn't only in the plant business. It's serving people who care about beauty, craftsmanship, sustainability, and supporting local businesses. People who care about filling their homes and gardens with things that have been thoughtfully chosen instead of carelessly accumulated. Once you understand your customers that deeply, collaboration becomes obvious instead of risky. But without that clarity, every decision feels harder. Which products should you add? Which partnerships make sense? Where should you spend your marketing budget? When you're clear about who you're serving, many of those decisions become surprisingly straightforward. Most business advice asks, how can I sell more? I think a more useful question is, what else does my customer genuinely need? Any businesses can ask that question. You don't need a larger audience, just a clearer picture of the people who already choose you. And sometimes the answer isn't another product from your own shelves. Sometimes it's an introduction. That's the part many businesses miss. We often assume every business should keep every possible sale for itself. When you're focused primarily on your products, it's easy to become forgettable. When you're focused on the people you serve, you begin to notice opportunities others don't. Trust has a way of compounding. Hannah trusted Julie enough to introduce her customers. I trusted Hannah enough to take a look. Years later, I'm still grateful I did. After all, discovering Logan and Finley didn't cost Bulow's a customer. If anything, it deepened my relationship with both businesses. I bought 4 Aran sweaters from Hannah over the years, become a loyal customer of Julie's, and now I'm planning a trip to another town because one thoughtful introduction expanded my world. That seems like a remarkable return on generosity and on knowing your customers well enough to recognize what else belongs in their lives. The older I get, the more I appreciate thoughtful curation over endless choice. I'm grateful for people who have already done the noticing, someone whose taste, values, and judgment I trust enough to say, if you think I'll like this, I'll take a look. Perhaps that's what the best businesses become. Not only places that sell us things, but also trusted guides who introduce us to people, products, and experiences that genuinely belong in our lives. One question I've been sitting with ever since that afternoon at Bulow's: if someone looked only at your products or services, would they understand who you're trying to serve? Or would they miss the deeper story?